Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Ratama Ajis Pradana. You can call me Pradana, and I'm from Indonesia. And I'm the Google developer expert for Firebase. And currently, I'm working as an engineering manager in Bukalapak, one of the e-commerce startup platform in Indonesia. But before we jump into the topic, first of all, I would like to apologize that I really can't make it into the venue because there are some problem on during my transit in KL. So basically, I'm stuck in here. So I'm gonna catch up my next flight, but I don't think I can make it on time to the venue. So yeah, I'm really sorry, but I hope that this content and this knowledge that I share will be really valuable and really, really helpful for your career and for your dream, of course. So yeah, in case that you would like to meet me or you want to talk to me, you can meet me after events. Maybe I'm not sure when, but maybe it's around 6 or 7 p.m. I will be on the venue. In case that you have some question about my talk, or maybe you would like to ask about some suggestion about Google Developer Export, feel free to ask me. Yeah, I know I'm late, but it's better than ever. I will try my best to go there. So yeah. Anyway, in here, I would like to talk about manage your multiple extensions and its integration with your architecture. So this is what Firebase. Anyone of you know Firebase? I hope there are a lot. As you know, Firebase is really strong in terms of full stack engineering. So if you are a full stack, if you are building something product end to end, Firebase will be really helpful. So let's start. In this talk, the context of what I will explain will be the first one, the use cases. The second one, concept understanding. The third one, business perspective. The fourth, implementation details, and as well as the last demo for the last. So let's make this more fun. I don't want to make this boring. I don't want also to make this, yeah, maybe you guys are already tired or sleepy. Hmm, I'm going to introduce you some of my friends. His name is Mr. Fire, and yeah, he's a fresh graduate engineer. And Mr. Fire also has friend, and his name is Mr. Dart, and he is senior software engineer. Oh, okay. And actually, they're a childhood friends that has the same interest into tech. Wow, that's pretty sweet. And actually, the image is very cute. So, anyway, someday, Mr. Fire got some question. Hey, Mr. Dart, I'm quite new here, but I got a task to build a gallery web page. Can you help me? Okay, so what's in your mind right now? All right. I think the system design will be more or less like this. So this is what Mr. Fire proposed first and asking for some suggestion. How about you guys? Do you have anything that on your mind how to build a gallery web page? So this is what Mr. Fire was thinking about. First, maybe we need a feature about an upload image. And then second one, we can save it into the storage. And once the image has been saved into the storage, there will be some listener to detect if there is any new uploaded image, then the listener will try to save the uploaded URL image into the database so that we can know the URL, where we can get all of those URL. So when the front end try to requesting some images, they can access based on the URLs. So I think that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so basically in that case, we will use image, of course, and then we can upload image into Firebase storage. And in and in that case, we need a Firebase Cloud function in order to listen if there's any new image uploaded in the Firebase storage. And after that, once it's detected there's a new image uploaded, the Firebase Cloud function we'll try to save the data into the Firebase Cloud file store to save the URL and add any other relevant information. And once the web client try to request the image, they can access the URL from the Firebase Cloud file store. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. I hope this clear already. And yeah, this is quite basic. So actually, Mr. Farn also have some concern about this actually. But of course, for the gallery, I think I need to make a thumbnail of those images with the same size for the performance, right? Let me share that answer. That's brilliant. You have a talent there. So, do you know what I should do? So, this is what Mr. Dad thinking about. First, we can upload the image and then we can save it into the storage. And of course, we can just follow what Mr. Fire has proposed. But the difference is that in here, Mr. Dad says that we need to add some functionality about get the image and then after that resize the image, then store it again. Why? Because so that we have the size, the smaller size in order to have a better performance. But of course, in this case, we have to add another algorithm for the flow, for which maybe it will make the cloud function running quite slower, maybe 20% or 30% slower or something. So so what's next? What we should do? Maybe now Mr. Fire has some insight, right? Thanks. Well, it looks more complicated. I have to think about the resize calculation, the format, and everything. And that will be impacting the speed of the performance when the cloud function is running. Then, any other idea? Well, in this case, you can use Firebase extension. Have you guys know about Firebase extension before? If you know Chrome extensions, then you might be get the idea already. Yeah, as you know, extension, is something that it can be attached or it can be integrated in your project. So it's a really add-on so that you can integrate or add a new feature into your project really fast and simple and out of the box because we're already ready. So we don't need to build that from scratch. And that's really, really great, right? Because why? Because development is also a cost. Time is also a cost. And when you have a chance, and then you try to develop your product and you miss the chance because the development time goes really running so slow, or maybe the development time running really you maybe you will find some problem after that, and then yeah, the development will be delayed and again, and you'll miss the chance. Maybe you will miss the chance to get the invention from the in your investor or something. That's really critical, right? But once you have this extension, you don't need to think about to build it from scratch. You just need to integrate it. You don't need to maintain it because it's already maintained. You don't need to think about anything. The skill or everything is already ready to use. And that's capability of speed when you can have the features in very short time is actually what the reduced cost is. So that's about the Firebase extension. Right, let's check this out first. So basically in here, if you go to Firebase console and you can access the extension on the left side, you can try to export the extensions in here. So in that case, we can add a resize image extension in here. Then you can search the resize at here and you find it and you can try to install it. And then you can choose the project that needs to be installed. And then, as you know, in here you will install this extension, resize image, and then you fill some unique ID for your extensions. Why it's unique? Because actually you can install multiple extensions with the same type. For example, you would like to install resize image extension for 3 or 4 instances. It's also possible based on your business perspective or business needs. In that case, after that, you can review billing and usage. So you can in here, as you know, at first you'll be free of charge because currently you will still in a free trial. And after that, after for some usage, you will only typically charge around $0.01 per month, which is really cheap. So I think you don't have to worry about this one for now. So I think about billing or usage about Firebase, it depends on how you manage your system design, how effective it is. And then you can review the API here. There will be some like cloud storage, event arc. It means that this extension requires these Firebase features, cloud storage, and then event arc API, and as well as it will create these following resources, cloud function and event arc channel. Cloud function is of course necessary because you need to listen the extensions activity. And then of course for the event arc channel, since Firebase resize image extension have a capability to listen to an event, so that's why it will activate this feature event arc channel. This channel is required for the extension to communicate with your project. So in here, you can review the access granted, which is it will require some storage element, and then you can configure the extension. You can configure the location, and then as well as the cloud storage bucket for the images, the size, and everything. Yeah, we can just keep it for now and try to install this extension. So actually, you can use extension really well, and then you can just wait this for like 3 or 5 minutes. Well, while we wait for that, let's go back to Mr. Dot and Mr. Fire. Maybe they are waiting for us. Oh, okay, Mr. Fire said that. That's cool. I finished my job fast, so right? So Mr. Fire think that actually Mr. Fire got some idea. So the new system will be more or less like this. We can upload the image and save it into the storage, and the Firebase extension resize image will try to resize it. And then what? Okay, it's confusing. Wait, what we should do? How to know when the extension finished his job? Because as you know, it's actually out of control, right? It's something the extension on the side, which actually is something that on the side from the extension, from the side of the architecture or the extension, and we don't have any control about that. So what we should do? Right, as well. Actually, you can use Firebase extension event. So this is what I mentioned before about the event arc channel. In order to your extension can be communicate with your project, we need Firebase extension event. Let me show you more. As you know in here, if you like to visit this, one of the extension that we've installed before. As you know in here, you can see that actually in here, there's some enable events. Let me try to reconfigure this so you guys have some image about what this is all about. So yeah, enable events, you can tick this or you can basically enable or disable these events. If you like to enable the events, you can tick this one, and then you can choose the channel location that your extension will listen to. But be careful, please use the default option, because if you choose some different location between your Firebase extension and the Firebase extension event, it has a different location, it might be incur some costs. So make sure that it has the same location and maybe use the default option one. And then you can here try to see what the events that are available for your project. In this case, Firebase resize image only have one event, which is complete. So whenever the extension has finished his job, it will trigger this event by this ID, Firebase extension storage resize image version 1. So that's it. So we can, in that case, as you know, first we can upload image, save it into the storage, and the Firebase extension resize image will resize it. And when we apply Firebase event channel, First, we can upload the image, save it in the storage, and the extension will resize image and produce the thumbnail. And this is where the event arc channel and API takes the role. And in this case, we can build a Firebase cloud function that will listen to the extension event when completed. So the extension will be triggered whenever the extension finishes his job. In that case, we can add a custom logic, and the custom logic, we can use that to save the resize thumbnail URL image into the database. And yeah, the front end or the web client can get all the URL thumbnails from the database. In this case, you only need to prepare the upload image feature and then the cloud function to listen for the extension to finish its job. And that's it. So you don't have to worry or care about how the extension resize image works. You don't have to maintain it. It's all out of the box. You just need to focus on listening the event and what you should do for the extension event. And this means that we only need to focus on the business perspective because yeah, that's one of the rule that don't try to too much focus on building something that actually pretty the same and the same over and over again, but please focus on the business side, and we can just reuse of what's actually already exists that we can use, which is the extension. So, right, that looks pretty straightforward. So, yeah, well, now we know already. We already have some insight about that. Now let's try to build that. Okay, it seems like Mr. Dot won't like the runway. Okay, you said that he needs to refill his coffee. Okay, it seems like he wants me to take a photo. Don't worry about this one. It's a drama. So, Donna, we have made this far, but I can't develop this in real Firebase project, right? Any idea? Yeah, correct. Definitely, of course. That's why in here we can use Firebase emulator suite. Wow, we have know a lot of stuff, starting from Firebase extension, and the second one, Firebase extension event, and now Firebase emulator suite. There are a lot of Firebase features here, and actually all of these features are actually have the same connection. So it's actually related to each other, and it's really important to understand the function, the role of each feature, how we can use it more efficiently. So what is Firebase Emulator Suite anyway? Firebase Emulator Suite is a feature that let us build our own environment in our local about all the Firebase features. And what are those Firebase features? As you know in here, we can use the hosting emulator, storage emulator, real-time database emulator, extensions emulator, functions, authentication, PubSub or asynchronous process, and as well as the Firestore. So there are a lot of features that can be emulated inside our local device, which means whatever you do about the Firebase, whatever data that you use, whatever data manipulation or whatever extension you use will not affect the production. The production will stay as it is. Whatever you change is only on your local. So it's just really important when you try to build Firebase because yeah, you don't want to trial and error for the production and then it will affect the user's data. Oh no, the whole user data are gone, right? So in the case, that's very important. So as you know, this is all isolated, so it's not related with the Firebase Coastal production. But actually, we can turn on and turn off of which Firebase features we would like to emulate locally and not. In this case, for example, we can also do some local emulation for the storage emulator inside your local. And for the rest of the Firebase features can still listening into the Firebase console production. Okay, so that's really flexible, right? So whatever you would like to do, or maybe you just wanna need to run the storage emulator and you don't care about the other one, you just wanna develop this storage emulator and you would like to activate it on the local environment, then you still can do it. So this is really great. That's awesome. That's what I really need. So Mr. Fowler seems like he is quite curious. Can you show me how to develop it locally so that I can test and debug my extension code? Okay, I will show you how. So now in here, our extension code installed already. Okay, let's start. So as you know in here, the this is the initiated Firebase project that I created before, and this is not a web platform or Android or any other platform. This is pure Firebase image. This is pure only Firebase project with only configurations in it, because the point of this talk is what how to test and manage our extension in Firebase. So we don't need any other platform for the demonstration. This Firebase project, it's only initiated with some features such as functions, storage, and as well as the emulators. Where on the emulators, I only need functions, storage, and I think I need some UI so that yeah, it can increase my mood. You can turn it on or off. It depends on you. But mostly, if you like to develop locally, you should enable UI so that you can have a better experience. But if you use this emulator for the CI/CD or integration, you can turn this off because it doesn't it doesn't matter because we don't need a UI because the CI/CD is automated on the background, right? So now what's next? Did you miss anything? Yeah, don't forget to build our cloud functions. As you know, functions is a serverless feature where you can run your code on the cloud without managing the server. Now let's jump into the index.js. It's really still empty. Since it's still empty, if you run your emulators with the extensions, it will not do anything because it didn't specify anything, right? So in that case, I prepared you some magic. Boom. Okay, this is how developer is work. No, I'm joking. They are not just copy and paste, actually. Of course, copy and paste needs a effort to think about whether it works or not, right? Anyway, to save the time, I prepared this magic for you. So we got these functions and on custom event publish for the extension event. So in that case, firstly, you have to import the Firebase function so you will get the functions object. And then we need some Firebase functions version 2 event arc. In that case, from the event arc, we will import on custom event published. Okay. So we can make a function called on image resize, and we can use this method on custom event publish with a parameter the listener. Where you get this value? Well, you can get it on the extensions page in your Firebase console. You check on the manage, you scroll down, and you will get this ID for the listener. So you can just put that here. Don't forget to add the complete one because this is the category and this one will be the listener one. So you need to copy this Firebase extensions list as image version 1 dot complete. So it means whenever these extensions finish his job or complete, it will do this function. You can put any other logic or anything based on your business perspective. But in this case, I only need to make some log or test and debug Krisa's image has been completed. That's good. All right, now, so yep. Firstly, I think we need to get the data from the Firebase extensions in our production. So in order to do that, we can do this Firebase extension export. In that case, your local CLI will try to fetch and get the data of the extensions in our Firebase console production. So it will fetch the configurations, the setup, and everything. As you know, we have these two resized images, and it will fetch it. And yeah, it's still processing. As you know, in here, it's already finished for the first extension, resized image, with this configuration, and as well as the second extensions with these configuration. And now it's already done. So as you know, after we've successfully fetched the configuration for the extension, there will be a new folder here called extensions with two env files based on our instances in the production. As you know, in here, there are two resized images instances. There will be two env files as well, which is actually the configuration. And I think this is really helpful if you would like to build the same extension, but with a different configuration. Maybe you like to do some trial and error for the extension. You can just try to change this, and yeah, and it will be behave like what you define here. And if you realize in Firebase RC, it will also add the necessary tags, which is the two exception images that we have with X unique ID. This Firebase.json, if you realize also there will be new features called extensions, and it has two extensions for our storage resize image. All right, cool. So we have set up the extensions in our local. Now let's try to run the Firebase emulator script by typing if you run the command with only Firebase emulator start, it will basically run all the features that you define in the Firebase.json. But if you would like to only run local with specific features, you only need to define it with a parameter. I mean, only maybe the first one. Then it will only run the parser on the local. But for the rest, it will still stay in the production. But for now, we will need all of those in our local, so we can just use this one. As you know, in here, it will starting emulators, functions, storage, as well as the extensions. And then we can just wait for it. At first, it will download the necessary resize image. As you know, the Firebase storage resize image has its new version, which is 0.1.31. If you realize actually on the Firebase.json or maybe RC, it has a different version here. 0.130 and 0.1.31. So that's why the extension env has a different one. This is the previous one, and this is the newest one. As you know that it has more configuration. Anyway, we have run our Firebase emulators with on the local successfully. As you know in here, you can open the UI on this localhost. And if you like to access the specific features, here is the location. It will has the localhost 5001 for the functions and for the storage with port 9199 and the extensions with port 5001. All right. I think, as you know, there's something wrong here, right? Because it has the same port. What you should do? Well, you can see here and here in the firebase.json. Here one. For the extensions, it will use the default port, which is the 5001. In that case, we, we need to modify the port in here. So in that case, it will maybe do you have anything to think about the port? Maybe I just 500. Okay. So I think in that case we can stop the Firebase emulator script for now. All right, let's stop. And then we can try to rerun again. So the expectation will be for the functions, it will be on 5002, and the extensions will be staying in the port 5001. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. All right, it's already run. Our Fabric emulators will already run. As you know, the functions is run on the local host with the port 5001 and the storage with a port of 9199. And since the extensions is related with the functions, so it will using the same port, which is 5001. If you have to see it on the emulator, we can open this URL because basically the URL for the emulator UI will be on the 4000. So what is this emulator UI? If you open it and ta-da, this is your Firebase console project in your local dev environment. So as you know in here, the emulator overview, there will be authentication emulator, which is off. I didn't set this on. Firestore off, database off, but for the storage and the functions is on. And as you know in here, for the extensions, emulator is also on. All right, so we got these features on for the local, but for the rest, it is off. Cool. Now, if we try to upload an image on the storage, but before that, what do you guys think? As we know that in here, in our Firebase image, it will only detect when we upload an image inside in some folder. Let's try to see here. Right, here. Include path list will be on the image. So what does this mean? It means that this extensions only works on this directory. If you don't believe me, okay, let's try to upload the file. And once you upload the file, and we can choose any other images, maybe this one, and that's it. And then you can see the logs here. Actually, it is working. And let's see. I see. And now let's see the logs. Oh, actually, this is working. Did I make a mistake? No? Anyone knows what's going on? Hmm. Well, Actually, I know, but maybe you guys can understand or figure it out what's really going on. Yeah. As you know, we have these two instances, so that this as image, right? And it actually the only extensions that working is only one. If you check it on the storage in here, see the resize is successful. It will resize the image into 200 and times 200 dimension. If the code of the extension works, it should be two of resize image. But why one? Because there is one extensions instance successfully do the job. But actually, this here one include path list images. But why it's still working? Because it's not on the image directory. Because for the other instances, we don't specify anything. We don't specify about this include path list, right? In that case, it will stay default, which means on the author directory. Yeah. So this is where you have to manage your extension really well. So for now, let's just delete this one. And maybe we can try to make a new directory images. This one. And then we try to upload same image, maybe. Okay. We see the log. It works, which is, as you know, in here you can debug your extensions activity, and the output will be this one. You see the images. As you know, in here there will be Firebase icon to 200 times 200 and the thumbnails. So actually, it got both activity. So can you define which one for Firebase extensions and which one for the other extensions? Actually, both are running. Because why? Because we are on the images directory. So in that case, both of the instances are running. This one running, and as well for the default one is also running. If we didn't specify the include path list here, it means that it will always running everywhere. So yeah, in order to manage that, to avoid this kind of habit or behavior, we can also put this one into this. And maybe this is not image, maybe let's say some posters. If you have, so it depends on your business perspective. In that case, we have some modification here, right? So we can try to restart our emulator. Then we can try to start it again. Okay, it's already running. We check it here and refresh. You know the storage is empty again because the emulator suite is not saving the state of our local data. So if you would like to make it safe or export the data before it goes off, you can also put some another parameter like maybe in save file. You can try to browse the other parameter in the Firebase documentation. So in the case in here, we foster and images. And we try to upload image here one. We see the logs, storage. See, the extensions is not running. Because why? Because we are specifying the resize image only apply when the uploaded image is on this directory, images and posters. So in that case, let's make a new folder images and as well as posters. Try to upload file here. You see the logs is running, beginning execution of on image resize. And it says image, oh yeah, the thumbnails here. It means the extension is running perfectly. Pretty cool. Now I go to posters, it's empty. Let's also try with another one and see the log here. It's running also. And see the poster, see the uh, the research image result is in here. As you know that you will notice a different behavior, right? What do you think? What is the difference of the behavior? You're right. In the images folder, the research image will be saved in the thumbnails, but well for the poster is saved into the posters, not on the thumbnails. Why? Because on the research image, as you know in here, as you see, research images path thumbnails. If you specify the folder name, it will create the folder and save the research image into the folder. But if you didn't specify anything, it will on the default will put the research image in the same directory. So in that case, we can prove that actually the extensions running separately, and that means we can manage the extension, which extension run for what. All right. Well, that's pretty long demonstration. Oh, Mr. Faz said that that's awesome. We learn a lot in here. Thanks. Mr. Faz seems really happy. Okay, I think that's all that I can explain to you guys today. Thank you so much for the chance, for the time. And it's really honor for me to be able to speak in here. Thank you guys and have a nice day. Bye bye.